Hello there. This week's video, I had a powerful nudge and calling to hop on here to talk about signs, synchronicity, timing in relation to manifesting your big, beautiful vision. But before we dive in, if you don't know me, my name is Louise Wilson, and I'm a quantum 5D manifestation coach. And I work specifically with coaches and healers who've been struggling to manifest their big vision for their business and life. As I show them how to work with their ancestors, their energy, and the quantum realms to create a business and life they love. Alrighty, well, I wanted to dive in today to talk about signs and synchronicities. About a month ago, I had a powerful calling. I saw that there was a retreat scheduled to run in the Highlands of Scotland. I'm beaming to you from the Highlands of Scotland. There we have behind me is Loch Lomond. And this has been an amazing retreat that's been run by Liz Melville and Melanie Moore. And you'll find Liz on Instagram at the Liz_Melville. And you'll find Melanie at I am Melanie Moore. Now, when that retreat popped up, I think it was in my feed initially, and then I received an email. There was something deep within me just knew that I needed to be there. And sometimes we get those nudges, we get those callings, that pull to do something, and it absolutely might not fit into your plan for that week, that month, that year even, but something deep within you knows that it's something that you need to do. Now, I work every single night with my higher self in the quantum realms. I work very intentionally and I'm being powerfully guided because every single night I'm playing in the playground of infinite potential. I'm connecting with that higher version of myself that has been tapping me on the shoulder saying, come over here. Come over here, Louise. Let me guide you. Let me show you how to achieve this glorious big vision you have for your life. And the power of being able to connect with that version of you, because vibrationally, they're already crushing those impact and financial goals that you have for your business and life. That dream, that vision you have, it is not a pipe dream. It already exists vibrationally. And what has happened is that you've tapped into those higher states and realms and you've downloaded the idea. But there could be a part of you, and I think this is for most of us, and I've experienced this myself too, is that you can question and doubt it, question and doubt the vision. I'm curious if you can relate to this, especially if it's a big vision. I always encourage my clients to set big goals and visions. Why? Because it forces your SH1T, as my dad would call it, to rise to the surface. It has to come up. All of your rub of resistance. Who am I to do this? I'm not worthy. I couldn't possibly. There's already so many people out there doing it. There's no room for me in the market. I don't even know where to begin. This is crazy. What was I thinking? And you may shut it down, or you may be doing all the doing, but focusing very much in the 3D, third dimension, doing, acting. When you know how to work in the fifth dimension, in the quantum realms, with your higher self, with that version of you that actually knows, yeah, Louise, I'm crushing it over here. I can show you how to get there. I can give you the action steps. I can give you the blueprint, the genius ideas. If this is all sounding a little bit woo, quantum physics now shows us, proves to us that we don't live in isolation. We live in a field of energy, a a field of potential. David Bohm, who was a quantum physicist and a peer of Einstein, he talked about there being this hollow field of energy, where all possibilities, all probabilities for your life exist in potential. It exists in potential. That vision exists in potential. And what if I told you that every single night you have a powerful opportunity to tap into that vision and version of yourself, to receive the genius ideas, the downloads that can turn, when you take action, that can turn that vision into your reality. Now, if you find yourself sitting there thinking, oh, I don't know, Louise, like genius ideas, well, Einstein, he received the law of relativity in a dream. James Cameron, who was the director producer of the film The Terminator, he received that idea in a dream. That is a multi-billion-dollar enterprise. The idea for Google came to Larry Page in a dream. That's a multi-trillion-dollar business. Taylor Swift, she often talks about how she'll wake up to a chorus. She seems like this genius, and she is. She's downloading, she's receiving. And what's possible for them is possible for you once you know how to hook up to that higher frequency, that higher vibrational version of yourself, and receive. Now, if you're thinking, I don't have time for this, you know, I'm busy, whatever it is, the beauty and power of this work, you can do it while you're sleeping. Can it really get any easier than that? Truly, you go to bed with the processes that I share in my Quantum Leap in Your Sleep program. I show you how to intentionally merge with that frequency, play in the playground of infinite potential, embody that energy and frequency for hours, 4, 6, maybe 8 hours. It's powerful, not only because you're receiving an idea, but because while you sleep, the subconscious, your subconscious is wide open. The conscious is taking a rest. Your subconscious mind, it can receive the abundance codes, the identity codes, the genius codes, the leadership and authority codes. You quietly feed it for hours and hours and hours. It is powerful. Clients have told me it is genius, Louise, because we can do this work while we're sleeping. But I think what's so incredible is that when you wake, you have that support. You've opened the portal, you've received, but once you've activated your 5D self, it doesn't stop there. Now you have this direct line of communication. You're in alignment. So you'll notice that as you go about your day, downloads will drop in, ideas will drop in the same way that I received in my feed in Instagram that there was this incredible retreat happening in the Highlands of Scotland. And there was something that I felt pulled. It was pulling me to it. That was the energy. And it was also my higher self telling me, Louise, this is something that you need to do. I'm like, but it's not kind of on my agenda. It's not like wasn't even remotely thinking. I was planning to come to the UK in the fall. You know, we're now, as this is recording, we're in April. But it's hard to describe. But when you are tapped in, when you're hooked in, there's just that knowing, faith, trust, and belief. And really, I want you to just for a moment to imagine what becomes possible for you once you operate from that absolute certainty and knowing that your goals are coming to you, that it's a question of there'll be a bit of a time lag, but it's on its way. It's like, no question, no doubt, you know it. And you've also embodied the identity of that version of you that's already crushing the goals. They're not going to question it. They know it's possible. And this is the powerful work that we do inside Quantum Leap in your sleep. This is my 8-week group coaching container. I have a cohort of students who are going through the program. They freaking love it. It's powerful, transformational, because not only are you receiving downloads, here's the important thing to know. You cannot manifest a 5th dimensional vision from a 3D, 3rd dimensional operating system. Well, what do you mean by that, Louise? Well, we're physical beings. We're physical beings and we're spiritual beings. Physical, spiritual, spiritual, physical. And as physical beings, you know, we're going about our day, we've got a lot of patterning, programming, identities, personalities, you know, things that who we think we are. And a lot of that is not even yours. You didn't ask for it. It was imprinted upon you in your cells, in your nervous system, perhaps when you were in your mother's womb. It's called prenatal programming, where you receive the patterning and programming of your mother. Because as she experienced life, as she experiences the world, her nervous system is activated, and you are in her womb, in her ecosystem, you too are activated. And so a lot of our programming comes from our mother in the womb. Once we're born, it comes from the environment that we're raised in. And it also comes from our ancestors, because they too, in the same way, they will have experienced, for example, if your ancestors were living in a war-torn environment and they, you know, had that sense of hypervigilance and need, got to be safe, you know, this is passed through the line through epigenetic mechanisms, because their bodies, their cells make a physiological change, an adaptive change, it's called, to the environment, because they need to pass on that survival programming to you, which obviously, if you are born into a war-torn environment, you do need to be hypervigilant. You do need to be aware, okay, just always on that alert. This was my experience at a very young age, where I never really felt safe in the world. And it wasn't until I did this profound, powerful work, working with my ancestors, understanding my lineage, what they experienced, and how much living, because on my Scottish side, I'm an Armstrong, it's my Armstrong tartan. I wear it with pride because it's who I am, it's my lineage. But there were challenges, you know, for the Armstrongs. They lived on the borders. They were raiding England. England was raiding them. They also did not so good stuff to their own people. They were reavers. They robbed. And as a kid, I always remember feeling like unsafe. The world wasn't safe. Like the house could burn down, got to lock up, always checking things. I always felt like the shoe was going to drop. And honestly, I felt like I was a little bit crazy because it didn't make any logical sense. Not until I actually did the powerful work to understand who I am and who I come from. Now, I didn't use ancestry.com to gain that understanding and awareness. Your ancestors, they live within you. They're encoded in your cells. They're encoded in your DNA. You have to give a bit of your DNA to ancestry for them to be able to interpret who you are and who you come from. And it's actually possible to tune to your cells, to your DNA, to your body, and to your ancestors in those higher states and realms. And again, this is the very powerful work I do inside Quantum Leap in Your Sleep, where I show you how to work directly with your ancestors, with the ones who created the fears, blocks, and scarcity programs that are imprinted within you and holding you back. If you've been struggling to manifest money in your business or in your life, likely there's some ancestral programming in there, or maybe it's past life programming or present life. But we cover all of it inside Quantum Leap in Your Sleep. And this is really, really, really important work because, as I said before, you can't manifest that 5D high frequency vision from a 3D operating system. So it's important to do the clearing, to clear the blocks, to clear all of the stuff that's getting in the way, that's causing you to procrastinate, to get into a fog, to feel overwhelmed, to feel nervous, fearful. I'm not enough. I'm not sure I can do this. Once you clear that, once you are playing and merging in the frequency and identity of your higher self, trust me, there is no stopping you as you live in faith, trust, and belief that you can absolutely achieve this goal. And so pay attention when you feel called to do something, and know that the more that you tune in and connect with that higher level, higher version of yourself, you'll know the signs will start coming really fast, and you'll assign, receive, act, receive, act. That creates momentum in your business and life. And for me, coming to this retreat, which was in no way on my agenda, and I hope you can hear the birds singing because it really is beautiful. They're getting ready to go to sleep, and we're getting ready to have an incredible dinner that's being prepared by Brody's Pantry, who you can also find on Instagram. Caroline, absolutely amazing. It's been incredible. I feel so blessed, loved, wrapped in love. And we have been doing breath work to support clearing. We had a beautiful sound bath this afternoon, and we've been bathing in Loch Lomond. We've been bathing in an incredible fountain behind us. -3, very cold, but I feel alive right now because of it. And just being in community, the more you can move into and be surrounded by people who share, like-minded, who can support you, share your vision. It is so important, because when you hit those difficult moments, you have that community to uplift you and support you, and your ancestors and your guides. And it's such an powerful and empowering thing to do. So I'm going to switch this around so that before we sign off, you can, take in the mountain. A little bit dark. We're getting ready to go have dinner. And just one last thing. I have a cohort of people going through Quantum Leap in Your Sleep right now. They freaking love it. And I'm going to be relaunching. I can't wait to relaunch, because this is an incredibly, deeply powerful, transformational program and process. And you can do it while you are sleeping. It could not get easier and better than that, right? So I'll be announcing the date very soon. We're launching in May, and I want you to watch out. You can actually sign. I'll include a link below this video, because I actually have a priority list. Now, with this priority list, I love that if you feel called to join, I love to reward people that join the priority list. And I have some extra special juicy bonuses for you for your patience, waiting for this incredible launch of the program. And if there is a part of you that's like, yeah, you know what, I think I'm meant to do this. I think this is time. Something's, I can't, you might not even be able to put your finger on why. Like, I wasn't 100% sure why I was being called to this retreat with Liz Melville and with Melanie Moore and with the gorgeous women who are here. But now I know. I feel loved, revitalized. I've been visioning. I've got big plans for Quantum Leap in Your Sleep. I'm very excited for this next launch. And it feels like there's this doorway. My higher self was saying, Louise, come over here because you need this boost of energy for this next chapter. And I'm so glad I listened because I absolutely needed this experience. And I'm very happy that I listened to my guidance and that I'm just following the signs and synchronicities. So, in closing, just pay attention to the signs that are dropping in and know that the more you choose to work very intentionally with your ancestors, with that higher vision and version of yourself, oh my goodness, like that's when you're going quantum. When you know how to work intentionally with the quantum realms, you are moving towards a massive quantum leap in your business and in your life. And you can do it while you are sleeping. Alrighty, I'm going to sign off. Take in the energy of the Highlands of Scotland. I've loved my time here and sending all my love to you. Talk soon. And if you want to catch me on Instagram, you'll find me at The Infinite Entrepreneur. If you want to find out more about my programs, what I'm offering online, go to louise-wilson.com and you can find out more about my programs there. And in the meantime, in between time, I'm sending so much love to you across the ethers and the miles. Mwah. Ciao for now. Oh, and the link to the priority list for Quantum Leap in Your Sleep is around this video or in my bio. Mwah. Ciao, ciao.